Welcome to the video, guys. Today I'm going to show you how to set up your Lanshan using 3 mods to get the best pitch and to get the most room on the inside. I've come to this perfect location up beside the lock. It's got nice flat ground and it's going to let me set up the tent perfectly. Let's go and find a spot. I don't need to walk that far. I think that, boom, that's a perfect spot right there. Just before we start, I could have made a video with 5, 8, 10 mods, but I've decided to do only 3 because they're really simple to do. They're completely reversible, and I've sort of just focused on 3 mods that'll help me to get the tent up as best as possible with the most amount of room on the inside. First things first, let's get the tent out of its sack, and then we can start putting it up. There we go. Something that I always do before putting the tent down, especially if it's dry ground, is I'll lay down. Yeah, that's comfy. Right, let's get straight into it. For the very first mod, you're going to need about 1.5 meter of bungee cord, and you're going to need 5 pegs. Let me show you what for. Whenever you get the tent, you'll have a cord here. This is connected to the inner, and then you'll have another one here that's connected to the outer. These are supposed to both go on the 1 peg, but I've seen other people that have replaced the cord with a bungee cord that I've done here. Sorry, it's a wee bit crude, but it does the job. And what this is supposed to do is give the inside, your bathtub, a nice shape. Simple enough. Put it in, push it down. If you're using a Lanshan, using these pegs, use a bottle cap. It's an absolute game changer. I'm going to go around and do that for all of the 4 corners. And then finally, the one for the back. I'll give this one a good stretch. And there we have it, folks. You can see that the inner is pegged out on the 4 corners and on the back. The next thing that we're going to do is put the pegs to the outer part. Just before we start to peg out the outer part, what you need to do is you need to tie those and get them as loose as possible so that if you need to go around later, you've got plenty of room to tighten the tent up. Right, time for me to get these pegs on. Now that the inner and the outer sheets are pegged into the ground, the time to set up our tracking pole. I set mine up at 115 centimeters. You can set it up between 115 and 125, but I like to keep it a wee bit lower down because it helps to keep the wind and stuff out. So here we go. Moment of truth. So we are going to move into the second mod, and it's to do with the front guy line. Now, when you receive this here brand new from the factory, there'll be a knot tied about halfway down that you peg here, and then the rest of the line comes back to your doors and the clip on there, as you can see. Now, I don't really like it because it leaves a big gap, and things like sheep, badgers, hedgehogs, foxes can all easily come in here, steal whatever's in your festival, and then disappear into the night. My mod requires 1 extra peg and no setup work at all. So what you do is just unconnect that, peg out the guy line as far as it'll go, and then to take care of the door, take your peg. The end of both doors have loops, so just pick one side. I pick whatever side the wind is coming from. So today the wind is coming this way, so I'm going to peg out this one here, and you just pull on it and just peg it out like normal, just nice and down tight. And that is the result. You can see that the tent is pretty much down to the ground and ain't no wind getting in there. Right folks, that is 2 mods done. Only 1 more left to go. But before we do it, I'm gonna have to run around and tighten the outer part of the tent up first. Tight. Tight, it's pretty tight already. It's not really, oh flip here, it's tight enough. Right, go. Damn. There you have it folks. Tent's looking pretty good already, but you know what, we can do better. So the last mod, what I've done is I have removed the guy lines on the side of the tent and on the back of the tent, and I have replaced it with my own cord. So for this mod, what you'll need is about 5 meters of guy line, and you'll need 3 tensioners. I've used the wee loops, the wee rings, because I like them, but you know, you can use whatever, it doesn't really matter. I ran my own cord up here along the top. There's a loop here, as you can see, ran through the loop, down the other side, and that's pretty much all I've done. And I did the exact same on the back as well, where I've tied my own cord on, put it through the loop, and then brought it out. Time to get the pegs in, and you'll see exactly why this is a really good mod. So, first off, just peg it out like normal, go to the other side, and then I'm going to pull on this one tight. And I don't know if you can see, but right away you should be able to see the side of the tent being lifted up. And the reason that this mod works so well is because whenever you get the tent from the factory, your guy outline starts here, you're pulling it down into the ground. But after you make the modification, your guy outline starts here, and it's basically being pulled down to the peg. And then because the guy outline is looped through the outer, then that creates that lift that separates the outer from the inner and gives you lots of extra room on the inside. That is the tent now completely set up. As you can see, the guy lines here, they're helping to pull the outer away from the inner, and that gives a lot more space on the inside. People will normally use sticks for the sides or the back, but look, at the end of the day, whenever you're coming out, you only have 2 tracking sticks, and you need 1 to put the tent up, so you only have 1 left over. Now normally what I would do is I would have put it on the back, but now that I've done this mod, I don't need to worry about it anymore at all. The outside's looking good, but let's see what the inside looks like. Now, I have not checked this yet because I want to get a good reaction if it's wrong, but let's get a look on the inside. So first off, you can notice that the bathtub is nice and taut, which is good because you don't want any insects or creepy crawlies coming in. And if we look at the wall just right in front of us, you can see that it's nice and taut. If you were to have your head here on your air mat, where you're a couple of centimeters more off the ground, you're never going to be hitting your head off that there, which is brilliant. And that's kind of what you want. And that is it, folks. That is the 3 modifications that I've made to my Lanshan 1 tracking pole tent that help me to get it up more securely, more strong, and give me the maximum amount of space. The midges are eating me, the midges are eating me alive. They're in my ears and everything. Oh man, look at my hand. Just eating me alive, right? There we have it, folks. That is my 3 mods for the Lanshan 1 tracking pole tent. They're all completely reversible, so you're not going to do any permanent damage to your tent. If you need to send it back to the manufacturer or you're going to resell it or whatever, I can basically untie everything I've got there and put all the original stuff back on. So look, I hope that this video has helped a few people. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.